All right, the lead is brought to you by Grand Prix Motorsports. If you're looking for the original motorcycle, talking about the Indian motorcycle, go check out Grand Prix Motorsports off of County Line Road and
Santa Fe.
Nicely done. All right, do you see a silver lining at all? If DT does not go to Manning's passing camp, if he does not go to OTAs, that Latimer, who was buried last year, and Daniels, who's new to this team, how both of those guys could benefit greatly without DT there.
I mean, possibly. More than anything, I would say when they get into June, if he's not there and they're getting additional reps in this offense, specifically Latimer. Daniels is practically a son to Gary Kubiak.
Right.
He's played every down of his professional career outside of when Kubiak was let go under Gary Kubiak as his head coach or coordinator. So he knows the offense. He can work with Manning. I'm not worried. But getting Latimer involved, Eric, is a huge priority for this team right now.
So maybe this could be a good thing.
It could be. It could be that it's like when a guy gets hurt and a backup gets reps and you kind of find out who you have, number one, or you are allowed to accelerate the development of somebody. Last year when DT missed time when his grandmother passed, it was Bubba Caldwell getting those reps. This year, with a guy like Latimer getting extra time in an offense, that's more relatable to the season. Bubba Caldwell was never going to get serious reps as a first or second teamer in that way. But they have got to get Cody Latimer on the field, Eric. And if that means he gets more passes at Duke, if that means he gets more passes in June, which all of us kind of go, oh, really, what is this about? With Manning, it is important. And
right.
It is important with Latimer because Latimer caught 2 passes last year. He is way too talented not to be used in this offense in some way. And I believe it's going to be as the slot guy. Or they could.
You think Latimer's going to be a slot guy?
They could put him in slot or move Sanders to slot and move him outside. But they have got to find a way to get him involved at the goal line.
Oh, I would agree with that. I mean, you want him for his jump ball ability.
Exactly.
If for nothing else. Now, let's use a baseball analogy here. At Manning's passing camp, he needs to be on a pitch count. Would you agree? To a certain extent.
I agree.
Okay. So let's say he's going to throw 100 footballs per session. And obviously I'm being very low. I want the majority going Latimer. I do. I want at least a quarter of them being split between Sanders and Owen Daniels. Minimum. I mean, that leaves 25% for Demaryius Thomas. I don't see this as such a huge deal. I think the question is Demaryius Thomas quitting on the team? But I don't see him quitting on the team. Players do this all the time. Peyton Manning sets up his own passing camp.
Right.
And Tom Brady doesn't set up his own passing camp, does he? Do other quarterbacks set up their own passing camps?
Very rarely. You see
Okay.
it once in a while, like McNabb did it.
Right.
RG3 flew out guys. I mean, you hear of quarterbacks flying out guys, but it's not as common as people would like to think it is.
Right.
And what about the guys who don't get invited? There's been years when certain receivers haven't been invited to the Manning thing.
Caldwell was real. He was chapped. He was chapped not getting invited.
So my point is that guy then not committed or not seen as a bigger part? I mean, it's just the Duke thing for me is completely separate. That's mutually exclusive of June with the offense going in and the way Manning works and it develops timing in that setting as opposed to Duke. Duke is camaraderie, it's learning my guys, and that I'm not saying that doesn't have an advantage, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But June has a much bigger tell on how training camp and the early part of the season is going to go.
Okay, that segment, of course, brought to you by Grand Prix Motorsports. If you are looking for the original motorcycle, talking about the Indian motorcycle, there's our bad boy Jeff on his Indian Classic. Of course, he got a Grand Prix Motorsports, and you can find Grand Prix Motorsports off of County Line Road and
Santa Fe.
You're getting good at this. I think
I'm terrible at singing, by the way, if you haven't noticed.
I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
I was just going to kind of let that ride.